So we're on the center camera right now. All right, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Amish Rebel Podcast. Greatly appreciate you guys watching today. Today I'll be interviewing my nephew. His name's Isaiah. I'm super excited for this interview. Been wanting to do it for a while and just document his story and kind of what he's up to here recently. And also, I just really appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to the channel and sharing it with your friends. It really helps us to grow this channel. Make sure you like this video. Leave any questions that you guys might have for Isaiah or even myself, and I'll read through those as much as I can. And so let's get right into it. Isaiah, I was going to ask you, just starting out, so you were a little boy when I was still Amish, and I don't know if you remember when I left the Amish or not, but
no, not at all.
To kind of give you guys some context, Isaiah was, you were actually born Amish.
Susan was.
Susan was born.
I was not
okay.
quite yet.
All right, so your parents had just got out of the Amish community right before you were born, which your mom's my sister, and that's the relationship here. And so Isaiah never experienced what it was like to grow up Amish, but
Praise the Lord, man.
Why do you say that? Like,
there's just, I think the way that I grew up, it was just I've noticed there's a lot of good about like the Amish, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't have that kind of mindset, like get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go milk the cows, that kind of thing. I'm not quite there yet, I guess you could say. But yeah, I think I'm grateful to grow up the way that I did. I mean, I was around the Amish a lot, but I wasn't myself Amish. So I think I got to see an outside perspective of all the good parts and all the bad parts, and I was able to kind of figure out whether or not I wanted to be Amish, which I don't think so.
All right, so with that perspective, the audience, a lot of the people listening, they want to understand the Amish better. Mm-hmm. They want to see what it's like, what it's like to be Amish or to grow up Amish or to kind of experience the way the Amish live. And so with the perspective that you have, you can kind of shed light on a lot of things. So I would love for you to be able to do that just for the audience. Like,
yeah. So like in what way do you think?
Well, like what's your experience? Like, what are some favorite things, I guess, be more specific. Like, what are some favorite things that you love about the Amish traditions that you would maybe not get if you were like not a part of an Amish family?
Well, I think I just get to see a lot of different perspectives. There's a lot of hard work growing up. Like my parents being ex-Amish, that was really instilled in us. Hard work. Didn't like it when I was young. Working hard still isn't the best thing to do. Like no one. I mean, there are some people, but not a lot of people enjoy working hard.
You're talking about physically, yeah.
Physically speaking, working hard, like going out, throwing hay and stuff like that. Now I got a little bit of that experience. We had some cows and sheep and stuff like that, but not nearly like the full Amish experience, I guess you could say. But yeah, like I would say one of the best things you can get out of the Amish tradition is by far just hard work. Like hard work, like dedication to a craft, and being able to be like what's the word, to provide yourself with needs, self-sufficient. To be self-sufficient, I think is a great thing for sure.
Yeah. So the other one of the, I mean, that's kind of gives the audience a glimpse into your experience growing up, but also like what are you getting into now, and what's your, obviously there's like a mindset shift that has changed from the time your parents left until, here comes Isaiah along, and now you're an adult, and almost an adult, and you're getting ready to go out on your own, and you're kind of gonna be doing your own thing. Like, what's that like? I mean, that's completely different from what your parents experienced.
Yeah. I mean, the going out part was very similar. Dad, Dad. Dad went and did his own thing. He did not care. But no, like, for me, it's like, I feel called to ministry or food service. I'm still trying to figure that out. But broadly speaking, I feel called to just serve Jesus, to serve the Lord, to serve others. And mission, whether that's like missions or starting a church or just like different stuff like that. It's a little bit different than I guess you could say the Amish tradition, I guess. Going out and experiencing the world. I'd say that's like speaking. It's just like I think it's a bit different than most of my Amish cousins, or like not even just my Amish cousins, but like my other cousins. I think that are a little bit more surrounded by the Amish than I would be. I think I'm a little bit out there compared to like Blake or Paul, where they're just kind of staying around. They're not really like going out, like going to Japan or like traveling a lot. I think I'm a little bit different than most of my cousins per se.
Yeah. So you want to travel and get out and experience the world. You want to see what it's like to be in other countries and to experience different cultures, which I think is super inspiring. Like, I would have loved to do that when I was a kid. I'm super excited for you to be able to do that. But because you're scheduled to go to another country, so tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'll be going to a missions base in Yokohama, which is like, if you're taking the train, it's like 30 minutes south of Tokyo.
Okay.
So it's a pretty like built up place. It's not super out in the countryside. It's very similar to Tokyo. It's just a little bit smaller and not as touristy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But it's a big port. Yokohama is a big port. But I'll be going there through an organization called YWAM. It's Youth with a Mission, and I'll be it's called a DTS, a discipleship training school.
Okay.
So the first 3 months, it's like a 6 month long ministry teaching program, and I will go, and for the first 3 months I'll do what's called lecture phase. So I'll go and I will they'll teach me like biblical principles and just make sure I have a good foundation. And then the last 2.5-3 months roughly, I'll go out and actually go minister to people. Like we'll go do missions. So that's decided there. That's like within the first few weeks. That'll be decided where the locations that I'll be going to. Okay. So like it depends on which base, how big the base is, what the DTS is designed around. But this one is specifically like it's called a Go Asia DTS. Okay. So it's like specified around like Asian countries. So like maybe I could go to South Korea. I could stay within Japan. I could go to like the Philippines, different places like that, and just minister to people. But then after that, I don't know what I'll do. I might stay there because whenever you land there with an American passport, you're able to go there and you'll get stamped 90 days. You'll get a 90-day visa. You literally, it's part of immigration. You just get there and they stamp you. You don't have to sign up for a visa. You don't have to apply anything.
Wow.
It's free as well. So you literally just go there. They'll stamp you 90 days, and then we'll go out after the three months. After the 90 days, we'll go out and do outreach. And then whenever I come back, they'll stamp me another 90 days. So I might just end up like staying there for a while. Okay. Maybe stay there for like an extra month or so. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to learn the culture. I'm learning Japanese. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think sometimes like I wonder how like my grandpa or my great grandpa would like see this little guy like, oh, whatever. I think it'd be funny to see like their reaction. Like this guy isn't just Amish, but he's like weird. I don't know if how they think about me. I think it'd be interesting.
So learning Japanese, that language. I mean, you still have one grandpa that's alive. Yeah. You go see him?
Occasionally. I think the last time we saw him at Well, I saw him at Grandpa's funeral, your dad's funeral, which was 2 years ago, and then I saw him, I think, last Christmas. We just stopped by and said hi, but we don't visit too often. But it's just because we're not really close with them.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit, like, why is I mean, you're a grandson, obviously. You didn't grow up Amish, but your dad was Amish, which would have been his son. So, like, how do you think that changes the relationship? I mean, is it just weird going there, or why are you not closer?
Yeah, it's just kind of awkward. It's just like, because whenever we were younger, we went around a lot, but it was really awkward because anyone our age, like, really, like, none of the kids our age really knew English. Like, whenever we were really young, I'll say. Or, like, they didn't really know English, we couldn't really communicate. It's just, like, there was, like, this dissonance between, like, us and them, and it was just kind of awkward. But we didn't really want to be around the Amish a ton. Now, like, with that was my dad's side. Now, on my mom's side, your side, we were a lot closer. Because a lot of our family had left the Amish, whereas on my dad's side, I only have one English cousin. So, like, the difference between, like, one English cousin versus, like 15, 20, more than I can count English cousins on my mom's side makes a pretty big difference in terms of, like, just I'm a lot closer to them. Now, I would probably be a lot closer to a lot of people on my dad's side because they live near us. They live within, like, half an hour from us versus, 11-hour drive to Minnesota. Yeah. Like, it's just, I think it was just kind of awkward, and we didn't really, I guess, growing up, we didn't really want to be around the Amish. It was just kind of, like, weird. Like, they're different. They kind of smell a little weird, you know. There's a bunch of horse poop around. You know, I don't know. I think it was just, like, there was just this disconnect because our cultures were so different. But
I talked a little bit about that in one of my previous episodes, that there are Amish that, like, really smell. You know, like, they don't wear deodorant. They don't have any good. I mean, they take a bath once a week. A lot of so the Swartzen Troopers, definitely that's the case. But then you have a lot of old order Amish that are not that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's. We used to have neighbors. They run now they're English, but, like, I think they were New Order or something like that, but they were great. We really liked hanging out with them. But, like, today at work, there was, like, a group of, like 7, like, Amish people that came in.
Okay.
Or, like, 6 and then the driver, right? But, like, they had that, like, distinct Amish smell, like Swartzen Trooper Amish smell. It's super weird to say, but, like I'd go over and bust a table nearby, and I'm like, I'm like, I feel like my dad would know them somehow. I don't know why, but they gave off, like, the Swartzen Trooper kind of vibe, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and there is a pretty big difference once you get to know the different cultures, but and that's what we're hoping to do with these videos is to help people understand the difference and how to interact with the Amish and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially when you live near where I'm at. Like, it's just you get once they find out that your parents were Amish, everyone asks questions. Like, or like at work, there's this one specific person, or like around 2 people. They love to ask me questions about the Amish. She's, like, infatuated with the Amish. It's hilarious. And today she came up to me and she's like, "Don't laugh at me, Isaiah, but do you celebrate Christmas?" Like, she didn't know if I would celebrate Christmas because they used to be Amish. I was like, "Yeah, I celebrate." Well, like, the Amish, like, even me, I still don't remember a lot of stuff. Like, it's just, even though I'm so close to it, oftentimes there's still so much, like, I just don't know. But, like,
if you didn't grow up in it, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't grow up in that culture, it's hard. And that's what I tell people. Like, it's even though, like, I've been out for 15 years. I lived that way for 19 years. Yeah. It's taken me a little bit to, like, remember, oh, yeah, we used to do this, we used to do that, because for a long time, I just tried to block all of that out. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even want to remember it, because a lot of it's not the greatest experience. Yeah. I mean, it just... and the reason why I say that is there's a lot of hard work involved. There's, like, you can't play organized sports. I mean, there's just, the list goes on and on of things you cannot do. And you're looking at a group of people that are allowed to do that, and they're free.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, so anyway, long story short, it's just, even growing up in it, there's things that I don't remember that people ask me about.
Yeah,
like, yeah, just, you know, I don't, like, my niece, Lavina, she remembers so much more because she's only been gone for like 3 years. So at the time of this recording, maybe by the time you watch it, it'll be 15 years.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. But is there anything else that you would want the people to know about, or the audience to know about you or your family?
The only thing is, like, it's a great opportunity to talk. But, like, honestly, this is, like, you see my shirt. It's just Jesus. Like, everything you do, this might be a gospel thing, whatever. But, like, everything you do should align with the word. Like a lot of people see Amish as, like, this kind of Christian thing, where, like, there's a big difference between, like, the Amish tradition and, like Protestant or Catholic traditions, in the sense of, like, they, like Amish people, they only read their Bible, like, once every 2 weeks or something like that. The week that they don't have, the week they don't have church. But, like, it's really interesting to see, like, there's just the difference between the, like, Amish tradition versus that. And, like, I would recommend people to look into, like, the real differences, like scripturally speaking, like, the differences, like, how different modern Christianity is, or like how different the Bible is compared to, like, what people perceive Christianity to be, like that Amish people follow Christianity. I would say that there's a large difference in the sense, like, as Christians we have freedom, like we have these liberties that the Lord's given us, like,
absolutely,
and we have true freedom. We can celebrate the Lord, we can praise Him as much as we want, and we're not looked at weird. Like, we can read the Bible more than once every 2 weeks. Like, we can meet with the Lord, and we can worship together, and there's no condemnation, there's no shame, there's nothing like that. So yeah, I would just honestly, this is, like, the corniest thing, but I would honestly just encourage you just to seek the Lord and ask Him if He's real or not, and just go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's corny at all. Mm-hmm. I would say that that's very very wise to suggest that, and, you know, because I recommend that people, whether you're a Christian or not, I mean, it's, if you're seeking for something and you're not sure what you're seeking for, getting into the Word, getting into the Bible, the number one bestseller in the
number
world.
One best-selling book, yeah.
Yes. How about we read that more often?
Yeah.
You know? So start there. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere other than you get some good wisdom out of it. But obviously Isaiah's talking about a deeper relationship with God and finding out who He is. But I think a lot of people just shut that off before they even go there. Mm-hmm. But yet, if someone would recommend a number one best-selling book that someone else wrote, they would read it. And so I just encourage people to read their Bibles. That's definitely
cast off any kind of, like, religious mindsets that you have with Christianity, because I feel that a lot of people have really negative experiences with people, and that taints their view, like, kind of rightfully so. It takes their view of like what it really means to be a Christian, because it just, there's a lot of pain that happens, and they can I feel that people just kind of put this view that this is all of Christianity teaches, is all like, and I would just recommend, like, just like the same way that you go to go to school or something, and you'd go to, like, a school and one person hurts you wouldn't say that all of schooling is bad. Like, it's just like any other organization. There are people that are in it that don't have right motives. Unfortunately, it's sad to say, but, like, you can't expect everyone to to live the gospel out perfect. Now that would be wonderful, and we pray that the Lord purifies his body, but I would recommend people just to like cast off any like religious views of the Lord.
Yeah.
And just look at him as a person.
Yeah. That's great. Great advice. Hey, how old are you?
17.
17. Pretty amazing, isn't it? 17 years old. When I was 17, you don't want to know what I was talking about and doing. So, but yeah, just super thankful that you came on today's episode and shared, and I really appreciate it. Hey, before we leave, give us one Amish joke.
Oh man, I don't. Shoot.
I knew I was gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah, Dad says a lot of Amish stuff.
Hey, go ahead.
I feel like he says a lot of stuff that give off Amish vibes that aren't specifically Amish. Oh, the most Amish thing that I can think of, it's not really a joke, it's more of like a saying. It's like whenever they kind of like make a joke or whatever, you're like, well, the big well. I think it's so funny. All my aunts and uncles do it. All my grandma, my grandpa, all of them do it. It's like always the whenever they're trying to teach you something, it's like that's the funniest thing.
The big well, there you have it. Yeah. Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this time, and thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe. We appreciate that. And remember, always be intentional. We'll see you in the next video.